Hi, I'm Janet Kurtz, Editor-in-Chief of Nfocus.
And I'm Madeleine Bradford, the Associate Editor of Nfocus. And we're back this week with a very exciting episode of In Good Company because we're celebrating our Best Parties issue.
Yes, we are. It just came out, so hopefully you've found your copy, read it cover to cover. It is great.
So many great parties. Everybody really showed up for the voting, and it was so fun to see.
They really did. Oh my gosh.
They did.
We had twice the number of votes this year than we've ever had. And it was so exciting to see those numbers. Every time we would log in, we would be like, oh my gosh, another 1,000.
And the competition was steep. So that just goes to show that there are so many beloved events in this city.
That's right. That's exactly right. So thank you to everybody who voted. Thank you for supporting these amazing nonprofits that we get the honor to cover every single year. So I'm just very excited to be here. So today, Madeleine and I have come up with the writers' picks for Best Parties. So these are going to be a little bit different categories than what we had in the readers' poll, but we're pretty excited to share those today.
We are. We have some really exciting parties to talk about.
That's exactly right. So we'll kick it off. So I started out with Most Inclusive Crowd, and that is the Ruby Gala 2025. For those who don't know, the Ruby Gala was created by Dr. Sean Kelly, who you may remember as one of our first class of Fresh Faces of Philanthropy. Sean is just an amazing and dynamic individual. He created this out of the Vanderbilt HIV and AIDS Clinic, and he created the gala as a way to raise funds for not just the clinic, but also some of the programs within that. And that includes transportation for patients in underserved communities who may not be able to make it to their doctor's appointments on a regular basis. He helps with transportation for that. Also, there's a pantry for, again, underserved patients who need to eat and do not have the ability to, or the funds to buy food. So it is really amazing. The evening is an incredible and beautiful celebration of the people that are not just patients in the clinic, but also the people who support the clinic. And I just had just a beautiful evening celebrating that.
That sounds incredible. Beautiful event. I believe I'm covering it this year, and I cannot wait to attend.
Yes, I'm so glad you are. I can't wait to hear what you think.
I love it. Well, I am awarding the Most Interactive Event Award to Grand Night: A Mystery at Middleton for the Nashville Children's Theater. And a Nashville Children's Theater event is not complete without a theatrical spin. This was one of the first events I covered full time at Nfocus. And when I got there, I got this big character packet with role descriptions, clues, a super sleuth sheet. The tongue twister.
Yeah.
And then the guests were all ushered into the main auditorium to see this onstage murder take place.
Wow.
With many actors from the company. And then the audience is released into all of these decorated rooms with different crime scenes and clue rooms. You're able to interact with the actors who are walking around in character to solve the mystery. And then it ended with a very lively auction.
Oh my gosh.
It was just such an immersive event, and I love any time that there's an activity at the function, and this was just a perfect way to do that.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like so much fun. Like a little murder mystery dinner, a little dinner theater.
Exactly.
All rolled into one.
A bunch of fun surprises at every turn.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is so fun. I love that. Okay, at number 3, we have Best Garden Party for the Cheekwood Society dinner. And you were there, Madeleine. It was a beautiful night. We were at Cheekwood. We were on the Swan Lawn. And the dinner is held annually. And it's a great way to honor those who support Cheekwood and who are, either benefactors or terrific volunteers, or are there, show up for Cheekwood, whether it's on the garden side, on the art side, on the mansion side, or just for the entire organization altogether. So it's a really fun night, and I'm really excited to be there every time I get to go.
I agree. It was absolutely beautiful last year.
It really was.
Well, I am awarding the Most Entertaining Program Award to Dancing for Safe Haven for Safe Haven Family Shelter. this was such an apt event because it took place right as Dancing with the Stars kicked off. And it, of course, has a Dancing with the Stars theme. So many community members compete in this competition, and they're paired with professional dancers. And they perform a range of styles and train for such a long time, which is so impressive. And we got to see hip hop, jazz, tango, salsa, and the crowd was so engaged. There were cardboard cutouts of faces from people's favorite dancers. People were throwing roses on the stage, and it was just such a blast. I loved seeing how the audience was into it, and there was such an electric energy from beginning to close.
That's right. Oh my gosh. Well, I know that is also a favorite of mine too. It's just such a fun event, and my mother is an avid Dancing with the Stars fan, so I always feel like she's with me when I am at that event.
Absolutely.
So, congratulations, Dancing for Safe Haven. I went with Best Use of Color for Chic Awareness. Now, we've covered this before, and we've talked about Chic Awareness has this wonderful theme, and they use teal, which is the color of Ovation Awareness. And they use that color as sort of a theme each year, and they ask guests, if they can, if they choose to dress in teal. And the room was magnetic, and it was representative of that. And so this goes to support the Ovarian Cancer Research Center at Vanderbilt University, which is such an important one because ovarian cancer, as we know, is very difficult to diagnose. And so it's often diagnosed in later stages, which does not give women much of a chance for battling that cancer. And so anything we can do to raise funds to help mitigate that, to help catch this cancer early or ultimately eradicate it is really special. They also had butterflies. The butterfly is a symbol of ovarian cancer research, and they had butterflies on the cocktails, and so it was really,
I love
it was a beautiful evening. Yeah,
Nashville loves a theme.
It does.
And that brings me into my next category, kind of playing off of yours, which is most colorful attire. Oh, yes. And I'm giving that to Broadway Brunch for the Nashville Repertory Theater.
Yes.
This was the 10th annual Broadway Brunch, and it celebrated 40 years of the Nashville Rep. And the theme was colorful cocktail. So that can be interpreted in many different ways, but everybody was wearing beautiful spring and summer shades, a lot of glitter and rhinestones as well. And I loved seeing everybody in their sequined ensembles, very theatrical in a way, which is so fitting because we were also watching very vibrant, lively performances on the stage. And it was just another great example to me of how Nashville not only shows up for a theme, but for a cause as well.
That's exactly right. And when you talk about the vibrancy, I mean, just the talent of our local theater artists really is always on display at that event. And I think that's really a testament to, you know, their passion and, you know, this sort of organic community that we have here in Nashville of just phenomenal talent.
That's right.
So very excited for that. I had Best Party to roast marshmallows around a bonfire for Once in a Blue Moon. The Land Trust for Tennessee annually holds Once in a Blue Moon, and they have it at Glenlevin Farm, which is a beautiful, beautiful setting.
Stunning out there.
So there you are in this very bucolic setting. The sun is setting. It is fall, so you know the temperature starts to drop, and everybody's there in sort of their fall bonfire best. And you're there for a cause. There's no auction. There's great entertainment, but it's really about the cause itself. And at the end of the evening, they've lit these bonfires, and there are little plates of all of the ingredients to make your s'mores, so you can just sit down by the bonfire, enjoy the warmth of that, but then also, who doesn't love a s'more? And, you know, I can eat a couple of them.
That just sounds like the perfect cozy way to spend a fall evening.
It really is, absolutely.
I love that. Well, my next category is most educational party. And for that, I chose Beyond Bourbon for Ozarts Nashville. This was my first Beyond Bourbon, and when you walk in, there is just an amazing selection of fine liquors, wines, non-alcoholic spirits, really something for everybody. But my favorite part and aspect of it was the VIP tasting stations, which walk guests through their favorite libations and how to store them, take care of them, identify the different flavors in each type. And I attended a Beyond Burgundy experience where I tasted several Chardonnays from the Burgundy region. And I loved learning more about how that wine is produced, and also tips for storing and maintaining the quality of each bottle. And there was great table discussion as well. Everybody was asking very insightful questions. It was clear that everyone in the room was very knowledgeable about wine. And I just felt like I learned and soaked in so much information from attending that.
But that's really the point of it, which I think is so great, is that you can have any level of knowledge and still walk away, feeling included, feeling like you learned something, and maybe becoming a collector one day yourself.
Totally agree.
Yeah. For Best Awards Show, that goes to the Fisk Golden Glue Jubilee Bash Honors Awards. This event, I have to tell you, it was their second annual, so it's still a relatively new event. It was so fun. And I have to tell you, they really kept the program moving, which is key. But it was lively and it was entertaining. And there were even, if people were telling stories about their career, they were so interesting that you wanted to take notes, and you wanted to just really go back and Google everybody and say, okay, that I did not know that before walking in, but that was so interesting. And of course, I love the Fisk Jubilee Singers. They perform.
Such a Nashville staple.
They really are, and a Nashville treasure. I mean, really, truly a treasure. And these students were just phenomenal, as usual. And so they did a terrific job. And of course, the evening was full of awards. The last awards were given to Jimmy Jan and Terry Lewis, who are this just iconic songwriting and producing duo. And it was really special to be in the room with them as well. So really phenomenal, and also honored to be invited to cover that event.
I love that. That sounds like such a special evening.
It was.
Well, I'm awarding Best Dinner Table Discussion to Authors in the Round for Humanities Tennessee. And this is the key fundraiser for the Southern Festival of Books, which was in jeopardy this year due to funding cuts in April. But the community rallied together in such an amazing way. Co-chairs Alice Randall and Caroline Randall Williams raised a lot of money for the cause, as well as Ann Patchett and her team at Parnassus Books. And everybody was so grateful and excited to be there. And that was the impression that I got immediately upon stepping into the room. And there are 40 tables, and each table has one of the authors from the festival represented. And you get to connect with the authors about their books and their writing process, and also get to meet so many readers. And as a bookworm, I just loved it. I had so many delightful conversations with the people at my table, and I also walked away with an even longer to-be-read list, which is kind of dangerous for me, but I'm also not mad about it.
Mine stretches up and down the stairs here, so it's very visible. And yes, but I'm not mad at that.
Not at all.
At all. And it's funny because my next award is also book-related. Of course, in wintertime, especially right now, some of us might want to be curled up digging into that to-be-read book. And so for Best Weekend with a Book, I have the Nashville Library Foundation Literary Gala Weekend. And so I went with the whole weekend, and it really begins with the first edition reception also at Parnassus. So Ann Patchett opens up Parnassus, and the author who is being honored that weekend is there, very, available, answering questions. This year was Amor Towles, author of The Lincoln Highway, Rules of Civility, just a wonderful author. And what was so special that evening was that he talked about his writing process, which is not always something they do. And so, as a writer, this, just learning another person's process is so interesting, or just delving into how they get there. It's so interesting, right?
I agree.
So the next night is the gala, of course, with the fire that happened at the downtown library branch's parking garage. We weren't able to be in the library this year. And I have to give a shout out to Montgomery Bell Academy for offering to open up their athletic center and really transforming it into a beautiful space. Of course, Amor Towles was there again that evening. People were just fascinated to hear him. This time, however, and speaking as the person who gets these letters, he read letters that he had received from readers.
Oh.
Which is a bold move.
What did the readers have to say?
Well, one of them wrote him about the Lincoln Highway, which is the story of kind of this, I don't want to call it a buddy trip, but of these young men who are on the road. and they stop. There's a dinner party. They do the dishes afterwards. And he specifically talks about how they washed the plates and then the crystal and then the pots. And so one reader did write in and say that she was the Betty Crocker award winner in 1972 in her high school, and that in fact they washed the dishes in the wrong order. You always start with the crystal, then the plates, and then the pots. So
should have just sent his manuscript over to her for editing.
That's exactly right. So we all learned something that night, but that is the danger of, yes, being public and everybody having
There were
access
some
to you.
Opinionated people out there.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
so,
hilarious.
Anyway, he shared that with us, but all in good spirit,
Of
and
course.
all obviously raising money for the Nashville Library.
I love
Foundation.
that. That sounds like such a beautiful weekend. I'm so glad you were able to cover that.
It was amazing.
Well, my next category is Best Skyline Views, and I'm giving that to Dinner by the Bridge in support of Greenways for Nashville.
Yes.
The weather that night could not have been more perfect, and it was so apt to celebrate the protection of greenways and green spaces by being surrounded by our beautiful city and also overlooking the pedestrian bridge.
Yes.
It was absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful al fresco dinner. The food was amazing, and everybody was just mingling, enjoying great food as the sun set, and that was probably one of my favorite nights that I've experienced.
Well, and let's not forget, it was just 6 years ago that we were all using the greenways in Nashville because we were in lockdown.
That's right.
And we were scrambling to get out of the four walls of our homes, and the greenways became this sort of, community unto themselves because we all wanted to be out and just doing something, and the greenways are still beloved to this day.
Absolutely. I really enjoyed getting to celebrate that cause with a bunch of people who love to pour into our city.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that's what we have for you folks this week. Again, don't forget to pick up your copy of the new issue of Nfocus, our Best Parties 2025. It's a great issue. We have some other fantastic stories that we'll tell you about later, but make sure to pick it up. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and comment on our stories, and remember that with you, our Nfocus friends, we're in good company.
Cheers!
Cheers!